Hello, welcome to Truck Stop Murder and True Crime Podcast. I'm your host, Gary Howard, and it's been a while since I put out my last episode. As I changed jobs, I thought I was going to be at home. I'll have more time to record. Come to find out, with my working schedule, I was not. I worked an hour and a half from where I lived at, and so I was basically just working and driving to work and sleeping. That was it. But I am back on the road now, so hopefully I'm going to try to get more of a consistent schedule going on. I have a list of episodes I want to do. I have one lined up right now, but currently trying to set up my studio again inside my truck, and I got to read. It's been a while since I did my research on that case, but it is a crazy one. You definitely want to listen to it. It's out of Louisiana, but in the meantime, I decided to try something different, and I know I've requested people to send feedback to me before, but I got one negative one for my last episode. If you listen to that about my niece, Danielle, I asked, there really wasn't much on the internet for that. I mean, online for that. So I reached out to the family members, which all said nothing until I recorded it. Then they had a lot to say. Well, two people had a lot to say, but whatever. But what I want to start doing on Mondays, I want to do Monday murder meal. Monday murderous meal, Monday murder meal. I'm going to say Monday murder meal. Might be something where I'm going to give three counts of last meals for death row inmates that was given. I'm going to do three. Now, it's short stories of the three, nothing full in contact, but I probably will eventually go back to these and give full stories on it, but here's just like a short, story about what they did, their last meal, and last words if they had some. The three that I got right now is from Texas. Since I'm from Texas, I thought I would start there. I found this wonderful book at the Texas Prison Museum that really gave me the idea to do that. So, without further ado, here it is. Normally my episodes have truck stops. Right now, I'll tell you where I'm at. I'm in LaGrange, Georgia. But I'm really not going to go over the truck stop information, because eventually I might want to come back to this, and then I'll give the details. But this is just for the Monday murder meal. I'll call it that, Monday murder meal. But let's go with the first murder scumbag, shall I say. His name is Benjamin Herbert Boyle. He was executed on April 21st, 1997. His number was 857. TDCJ number was 8537. So what did this individual do to get on death row? Well, on October 14th, 1985, Gail Lenore Smith had some relatives drop her off at a highway rest stop outside of Fort Worth, Texas, in hopes of finding a ride to see her mother in Amarillo. Before leaving the rest stop, her stepbrother and sister-in-law waited to make sure that she found a ride. As a safety precaution, wrote down the name of the trucking company displayed on the side of the truck that picked her up. The little piece of information would be Benjamin Boyle's downfall. The following day, another truck driver discovered the bound, gagged, and nude body of Gail Lenore Smith concealed in a brushy area 14 miles north of Amarillo. She had been raped, strangled to death with a piece of cloth. Using this information given by the woman's relatives, authorities in Amarillo traced Benjamin Boyle's truck to a trucking line in Oklahoma, where they received the suspect's killer's next destination, the tiny town of Diboll, Texas, which is right north of where I live. I live in Livingston, Texas. This is right north of that, not too far. I drive by there all the time. Police in Diboll arrested the unsuspected driver as he exited a convenience store. In the investigation that followed, police found pubic hairs, blood scrapings, hair, and some belongings of Gail in Boyle's truck. Fibers from inside the truck were found on the body. The duct tape that the body was bound with not only had fibers from inside the truck stuck to it, but also featured the most incriminating evidence of all, the fingerprints of Mr. Benjamin Herbert Boyle on the sticky side of the tape. So, busted. Of course, he was convicted of capital murder. Let me turn this phone down. Whatever. He was convicted of, yep. If you're not noticing my episodes, I don't really do much editing to it, so you get what you get. If you don't like it, you can get. It's just my schedule, and it's just, yeah. Maybe one day I'll get somebody to help me do this. But evidence was, like I said, the tape. Boyle was convicted of capital murder of her and sentenced of Gail Lenore Smith and sentenced to death by lethal injection. He has spent a total of 3,787 days on death row before brought to the Walls unit to be executed. For his last meal, he requested, drum roll please, no, okay, a double meat cheeseburger, French fries with ketchup, and a Coke on April 21st, 1997, at shortly after 6 p.m., which he was asked for his last statements. He did not have none. He just shook his head no. Boyle's life was taken by the state of Texas, ridden its highways of at least one sexual predator. One thing for sure, Benjamin Boyle would never kill again. His education level was 10 years, 10 years, and at the time of the offense, he was 42. Now, he was actually connected to another individual that was found, but in California, murdered victim, another girl, but there is no name to that. So there's really not information. Hopefully when I do come back and do, because he's a truck driver, hopefully when I do come back to this, I can have more information. But like I said, these are just little short stories of the individual short story and their last meal and statements, if they have it. So on to our second scumbag. His name is Ernest Orville Baldree. And this person here, the victims that he did murder, we share the same last name, Howard. So Ernest Baldree had only been out of prison on parole for 4 months when he murdered Homer and Nancy Howard. Baldree had gone out to the Howard's property to help Homer build a fence when he decided that working for a living wasn't for him. He forced the 68-year-old Homer Howard to kneel down beside his truck, which was parked by the fence they were building. About 200 yards from Howard's trailer, Baldree then shot him through the neck with a .22 rifle he had taken from the truck, and then stole Homer's wallet, watch, and gold ring. He proceeded back to the trailer, and after speaking with 53-year-old Nancy Howard, shot her 3 times in the head, neck, and chest. He removed her rings and watch from the body before taking the Howard's Cadillac and driving to Arlington to sell the items he had stolen. When arrested, Baldree confessed to the crimes. He had 13 prior convictions. So, let's see. Ernest Baldree was put to death for his crimes on April 29th, 1987. Oh, by the way, Ernest Orville Baldree was executed 29th, 1907. His TDCJ number was number 855. I forgot that. Ernest Baldree was put to death for his crimes on April 29, 1997, after spending 3,790 days on death row. And he, just like the other, so we just covered, he requested a double meat cheeseburger and French fries for his last meal, but was denied a final smoke. He was 55 when he died. His education level was 7 years, and he was 44 time of the offense. He was 44. So there's number 2 scumbag. Let's go on to 3 and our final one for today. His name is Anthony Ray Westley, executed May 12, 1997. His TDCJ number was 797. So Anthony Westley was convicted in the shooting death row of Chester Frank Hall on April 13, 1984. Westley and 2 companions were attempting to rob Ellen's Bait and Tackle, owned by Hall and his wife, Eileen. When Mr. Hall walked into the store, Hall pulled out his own gun and killed one of the robbers. So he was fighting back and wounded another one before he was shot and killed. Wesley surrendered to the police the following day, claiming that His partner in crime, John Dale Henry, who was wounded but survived the shootout, was the one who had killed Hall. Henry claimed that Westley was the murderer and received a lesser sentence for his testimony at Westley's trial. On May 12, 1997, Anthony Ray Westley was convicted for the murder of Frank Hall. He requested fried chicken, no cheeseburger this time, fried chicken, french fries, and bread for his last meal. He maintained his innocence to the end. In a final statement, he turned to Ellen Hall and said, "This person did have a final statement like the last two scumbags. I didn't shoot your husband. I really didn't. I want you to believe that I did not kill him." He then looked at his family and said, "I love you all. God be with you." Minutes later, he was pronounced dead. He was 36 years old. Education was 8 years. Age of defense was 23. So he was pretty young when this is all happened. Now, keep in mind, three individuals are from Texas. They no longer give a last meal no more. They just eat the final whatever the other inmates are eating. Well, there you go. Like I said, these are going to be short ones. I'm going to go over 3 death row inmates. Those 3 were from Texas. I'm going to try to go find ones around the United States, but I could go on and on and on with Texas because they do have a lot. Eventually, I might get to my wife's uncle, not my uncle. I keep in mind, I get married. I'll cover that case fully. If you're part of my Facebook group, you have seen when I went to the Pernhagen's gravesite. I had a little memorial video for them. Well, there you go. Here's the 3 Monday murder meals of last condemned men on death row. If you like that, please let me know. So, go on my Facebook group, Truck Stop Murder True Crime Podcast, Twitter, Instagram, everything, or you can email me at truckstopmurder@gmail.com and let me know if this is something that you find entertaining. And hopefully, by Wednesday, I'm going to try Wednesday. I'm going to try to get a regular routine weekly to do this since I'm back in my truck. And I think I have more time now to do them. So no interruptions from family and kids or anybody. But anyhow, thank you for listening. And as always, you can't fix stupid, but you can sure numb it with a 2x4. I am out of here.